Hello everybody, NJ Sullivan here, and welcome back to my vlog. It's been a couple of weeks, I'll tell you. Everything is going pretty well here at home. I gotta clean the office, but it seems like I always have to clean the office. Looks like we have more stuff than sense a lot of the time. So that's an ongoing project and something I'm looking at right now and going, I really need to clean the office. So I told you guys I'd talk about the process, and I'd talk about like how I make the shows I make, and one of the things that's kind of a meta story of that is knowing or realizing when maybe you've bitten off too much. And at this point I'm thinking I may have. We have a lot of stuff that are responsibilities, a lot of things that are responsibilities in our day-to-day lives. And a lot of, physical and occupational and speech therapy appointments, a lot of doctor's appointments, a lot of cooking and cleaning and all the normal things of daily life on top of that. And I'm beginning to wonder if maybe I'm being a little too ambitious with the projects I've taken on for our audio dramas and our other podcast shows, if maybe it's too much. I don't know yet. I haven't made a decision yet, but I'm starting to wonder about the scheduling and if it's even possible with the amount of time that we have during a given day to get everything done, much less anything done, and not get severe executive dysfunction in the process, or decision fatigue, or just plain old fatigue. Because I can't push myself so hard that I'm useless. I just can't. I have to be around and available and on the ball for everything else on top of our projects. So I'm trying to figure out what the best way to go about this is. And some things might have to be set aside temporarily. I don't know what yet. I don't know if yet. And it's a tough call to make because I love all of these projects that I've been working on for so long. I don't want to have to put them on the back burner or have to set them aside even temporarily. I want to keep going with this crazy idea. But if that crazy idea is going to make me unable to do the things I need to do, then they have to get set aside. So I'm kind of working through that right now and trying to figure it out. And there's a lot of doubt right now. There's a lot of doubt as to what I should do next and what I should do going forward. And what I want to do going forward. It's not an easy thing to decide. It's not an easy process. Because right now, I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 7 to 8 shows in production or pre-production or development. And I don't think that's a workload that I can keep up entirely on my own. I don't think that's a workload I could keep up if there were 2 of me. I don't think it's feasible. So I need to consider that and consider what to cut and what to move forward on. And that's a really hard thing for me because I love all these ideas and I always see all of them come to fruition. But if I try to do that, I'm going to burn out. I know I can't do it all at once, but I don't know if I can do what I was planning on doing all at once. And I think maybe that's some wisdom seeping into the manic processes in my brain. Maybe a little bit of my manic depression showing. Who knows? But it's hard choices, and I'm going to have to make some, and I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. On top of that, on top of making those hard choices and trying to make those decisions and figuring out what is feasible, what is possible. Those are two different things, by the way. Feasible and possible are two different things. You know, trying to figure out, I want to do a crowdfunding effort, a crowdfunding drive to bring in some more people, bring in some more tech, you know, get us to a place where it's not just me doing it, or at least not doing all of it, every single thing from beginning to end. And I have to concern myself with whether that will affect Lois's medical care, Celosia's medical care, because her medical care, we have Medicaid right now. I'm unemployed, she's disabled, and if we have a large influx of money, will that make her ineligible for Medicaid? Because if it does, we won't have the money to get on health insurance, because it's a one-time thing. You know, it would be a one-time payment. And, you know, I got to talk to people in the know to see if that will affect it, to see if it's possible for us to raise money to pay for all this stuff I want to do, that we want to do, and have it not make her ineligible for her medical care, because that's priority number one, is her medical care and her getting better and continuing to get better. And we can't afford to pay for that out of pocket, and we can't afford to pay for it. We can't afford to pay out of pocket for health insurance. So that's a big part of it as well. And so I'm just trying to figure it out. And it's a lot. It's a lot to figure out. But I'll find a solution, because that's what I do. It's what I've always done, and it's what I'll always will do. And so yeah, it's you know, kind of a stressful time right now, trying to figure all that out. And I don't like the idea of cutting shows. But I can't be in 6 places at once. And not cutting something would require me to be in 6 places at once. I've always disagreed with the idea of kill your darlings as like a blanket statement. But in this situation, I may need to take some of that ethos and not be so, not treat my ideas as so precious, and just do what I know I can do. And focus on that. And when that is done, do the next thing I know I can do. And then, you know, do something harder as I go along. You know, something more ambitious. I think my eyes are bigger than my stomach a lot of the time when it comes to these projects. And maybe that is wisdom. Maybe I'm finally developing wisdom. Who knows? But right now I'm in a position where I have to make cuts, and I have to figure out what's going to get cut. Because there's no way I can do everything I thought I was going to be able to do. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. There is too much work that goes into each one of these to make them the best they can be for all of you guys and for me to do 5, 6, 7 shows at one time. Especially when it's just me doing it. It's just not something I can do. So that's where that sits. I've been writing. I haven't started recording yet, but I've been writing for Lantern News. I want to start getting new stuff out again. This 2-week hiatus has gone on for a month and a half, and it's time to get back to it. And I have 3 scripts written. I hope to write 3 more and hopefully record several more. You know, hopefully record all 6. and get myself a little bit ahead so that I can write more and record more and not constantly be playing catch up, which is the other problem I have, is I get myself into situations where I'm constantly playing catch up, and that is not good either. So that's what I'm focusing on this week. That and some editing stuff I have to do, and a bunch of other things. Maybe I'll do a behind the scenes of recording Lantern News for the Patreon. Give you guys a little bit of an insight into what it looks like to actually record that show. Because it's a process. I mean, it's not as complex as having 5, 6, 7 voice actors and trying to, deal with all the logistics and all the realities of that. But it's a process, and it's kind of a unique one to do that. And maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll record a few minutes of a thing for the Patreon, for our patrons, showing them what it's like to actually record an episode. An over-the-shoulder view of the annoyance of actually trying to do that. It's an annoyance, but I enjoy it. I don't want it to make it sound like I don't enjoy doing the show, because I really do. The sad thing is, part of the whole conversation I was having, what I was talking about earlier, is I know I'd enjoy doing all of these shows. I enjoy performing and I enjoy writing, but I gotta know when to put the brakes on it and say, this is overload. You are going to burn out again. And I can't afford to. I just can't. It has to be something I can manage. And this much work is not something I can manage, not with the current state of everything else in our lives. So I don't want this to be a downer vlog. It's just, the realities of it. It's the realities of the situation. I have to make sure that I am putting out the best thing I possibly can, as consistent as I can, and as reliably as I can, without digging a grave for myself in the process. And I started to feel like that was going to happen. So there may be some changes. There may be some things that get dropped. There may be some things that go from being serial to being a limited series. And I may just have to do that and have to figure out what becomes what. So I'll give you guys more information on that when I have it. There'll be an announcement eventually when I get it all figured out, what's going to happen next. But right now, that's kind of where it stands. I have to make decisions about what gets done going forward. And they're not going to be easy decisions. Some things might get shelved. Some things are going to have to get shelved. It's just a matter of what at this point. And yeah. Once again, I hope this wasn't too much of a downer, but this is the reality of where I'm at right now, and that's kind of what this vlog is about. It's about what I do and the decisions I have to make and how life affects it and how it affects life. So yeah, that's going to be it for me today. So, until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.